It turns out that, in addition to taking vitamins, a daily hike to the gym, and a morning dousing with cold water, you can throw out a few things in your home to strengthen your health. So, here are the 18 things that need to be thrown out to become healthy. Number 1. Old plastic containers. Walk through your collection of plastic containers and lunch boxes, and choose those that are made of clear rigid plastic and stamped with PC letters, known as polycarbonate. Such containers contain bisphenol A, a toxic chemical that is activated when heated in a microwave oven. It is better to use glass instead of plastic. It is much safer and healthy. Number 2. Air fresheners. Air fresheners contain phthalates, to be exact, phthalate xylitol, which manufacturers add in order to prolong the aromatic effect. However, in fact, we spray chemicals in the air, which with constant inhalation, cause disturbances in the reproductive system. It is much safer to simply get rid of the source of unpleasant odor, or use aromatic sticks or candles. Number 3. Antibacterial soap. Undoubtedly, antibacterial soap is very effective in combating pathogens, but nevertheless, it is not safe for the body. According to large-scale studies conducted by the Office for Control of Food and Drug Administration in the United States, triclosan is the main component of soap. It breaks the hormonal balance in the body, as well as the ability of immunity to resist microbes and increases resistance to antibiotics. Number 4. Dietary cola. If you are planning to lose weight, or become an adherent of a healthy lifestyle, you should consider that the so-called dietary cola, in which there are no calories, contains a number of sweeteners. A recent study published in the journal, Nature, found that sugar substitutes, saccharin, sucralose, and aspartame, that can cause impaired immunity to the oral cavity, and destroy a number of beneficial bacteria that live on the gums, and play a key role in metabolism. In addition, these beverage components increase the level of sugar, and cause a metabolic syndrome, which is the main cause of the development of type 2 diabetes. Number 5. Worn running shoes. Running sneakers, even the most high-quality and expensive ones, should be changed every 500 to 600 kilometers. For runners who travel a distance of about 50 kilometers per week, this means that the sneakers have to be changed every 3 months. When the sneakers wear out, they lose the ability to properly fit with the foot when it hits the ground while running, respectively. The impact force is on the bones of the foot, which can lead to injuries and sprains. If you do not run regularly, it's better to just keep track of the look of your shoes, and once the sneakers start losing it, you can safely throw them into the trash. Number 6. Disheveled toothbrush. The toothbrush wears out much earlier than you think. With regular use of twice a day, this happens in 2 to 3 months. Dentists always recommend to change the brush every 3 months, otherwise it loses the ability to clean teeth from plaque and pathogenic bacteria. Number 7. Various rubbish. What surrounds us affects our mood. In other words, being determines consciousness. Old things that are gathering dust on the balcony can no longer serve you faithfully, and will definitely not make you happy, and you will not feel better. The more such things around, the less we can focus on what is really important to us. Do not know where to start? Feel free to throw away those things that irritate you every time you see them in your path. For example, socks that do not have a pair, but you for some reason keep them just in case. The main thing here is that you will free space from objects that attract your attention. Number 8. Clothes that you no longer wear. Make a revision in your closet, and count how many things you have not been wearing for more than a year. Most people who have lost weight heavily store their large-size cloths in case they gain weight again, while others for some reason keep jeans 2 sizes smaller, hoping that they will lose weight in the near future. In any case, the contemplation of these things causes anxiety. Number 9. The remains of food in the refrigerator. When it comes to products of animal origin, the rule is always the same: eat, throw, or freeze. The bacterium Listeria, causative agent of listeriosis, can cause meningitis, miscarriages, and even cause death. In the refrigerator, the number of bacteria can grow thousands of times during a week. Number 10. The old mascara. Cream and liquid makeup, including mascara, can contain millions of bacteria, said by ophthalmologists. Doctors recommend throwing out mascara after 3 months of opening the tube, even if the makeup remains sufficient. Every time you use mascara, you carry a huge amount of bacteria to your eyelashes and mucous membranes. In addition, touching the skin of the eyelid and eyelashes, the number of microorganisms increases. All this gets into a moist environment at room temperature, and the colony of bacteria continue to grow. One of the main functions of human eyelashes is to prevent bacteria and foreign bodies from entering the eyes, so it is very important to use as much as possible fresh cosmetics to rid yourself of possible conjunctivitis and other unpleasant diseases. Also, one should not give someone to use the cosmetics, and if you visit a makeup artist, it is better to clarify whether he disinfects palettes with cosmetics and uses special disposable brushes for mascara. Number 11. Old containers for contact lenses. Using old or dirty containers for contact lenses, you are putting yourself in serious danger of putting the infection in your eyes. This is warned by every ophthalmologist at discharge of lenses to their patients. It is necessary to change containers as often as possible, at least once every 3 months, otherwise troubles cannot be avoided. It is easier and cheaper to spend on fresh containers than to treat serious eye diseases afterwards. Number 12. Overdue spices. Seasonings that are stored in kitchen cabinets for years, of course, will not cause any serious illnesses, it's just that their use will be completely meaningless in cooking. The essential oils that impart flavor and aroma to dishes, with long storage, volatilize. Number 13. Old lip gloss. All that is used around the mouth area instantly collects a huge number of bacteria. As mentioned in number 10, cream and liquid makeup are a favorable environment for the multiplication of pathogens, so after opening the tube with gloss, it is better to throw it out after 6 months. Number 14. Stale and clogged filters, for air purifiers and air conditioners. On average, a room of 45 square meters collects about 2 kilograms of bacteria. Among us lives a large number of people suffering from allergies and asthma. If among them there are those who use air purifiers or air conditioners, it must be remembered that filters for these devices need to be changed as often as possible. Otherwise, the device will turn into a real killer, spreading molds and bacteria throughout the air. Number 15. A stretched bra. Elastic straps, supporting the chest, even with the most careful care, over time stretches. Washing in the washing machine speeds up this process. And this means that, with time, the breast will receive less support. Timely replacement of the bra promotes the necessary support of the breast, and even prevents back pain and tissue injury. Number 16. Sponge for washing dishes. A number of studies have shown that sponges for washing dishes are one of the dirtiest things in the kitchen. They accumulate a huge number of bacteria, and the moist environment and room temperature also accelerate their growth. Some experts recommend, at least once a week, to put the sponge in a microwave oven and heat it there for 5 minutes to kill the bacteria. It is especially dangerous to use a sponge for dishes after they have wiped the juice from raw meat or fish, which can contain salmonella and other dangerous organisms. It is best to have a roll of disposable paper towels in the kitchen. Number 17. Old cutting boards. The process of cutting food, especially raw meat and fish, creates micro cracks on the surface of the boards, in which pathogenic bacteria can accumulate. It is very difficult to get rid of them. Experts recommend the use of boards from natural wood, which contains tar, that prevent the reproduction of microorganisms. Number 18. A chair. Large-scale studies show that, on average, a citizen of a civilized country sits for 8 hours a day, and some office workers sit on a chair for 15 hours a day. Such employment can lead to rather sad consequences for health, infringement of metabolism, reduces blood supply in the body, and even adiposity and diabetes. The way out is to take small breaks, during which, you can tear yourself away from a chair, and walk around the office. If you want to live a healthy life, then stay tuned with our channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later and, thanks for watching.